and basically whatever the hell I want. Hello everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude here in my car. We got a spooky video for you today. I like these camping videos, so we got some more of those disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. This is from Most Amazing Top 10. So let's check this out.
Camping is supposed to be a peaceful escape, a crackling fire under the stars, the soothing sounds of nature, but in the dark wilderness, not everything is as it seems. From mysterious strangers lurking outside your tent to unseen creatures watching from the trees, the following real encounters will make you think twice about that next overnight in the woods. These are some of the most disturbing camping encounters ever caught on camera. Viewer discretion is advised. A father and daughter's relaxing forest hike turned into a scene from a horror movie when they stumbled upon a cabin surrounded by hanging mannequins deep in the woods. Gary and his daughter Amica were exploring a forest in Scotland when Amica said she heard voices echoing through the trees. Following the sounds, they discovered a remote shack decorated with dozens of old mannequins, some perched in trees on makeshift ladders, others scattered on the ground. The figures were dressed in tattered clothes and posed eerily, watching the intruders with blank faces. Outside the cabin hung bizarre, unsettling paintings adding to the nightmare scene. There was no sign of who created this disturbing display, but whoever it was clearly went through a lot of trouble to be as creepy as possible. Gary recorded the entire chilling discovery on a video titled Terrifying Cabin in the Woods, Van Life UK. As they hastily left the area, a car was heard approaching on a nearby trail, sending a jolt of fear through the pair. I think I saw something about this. Thankfully, they made it back to their van without confronting anyone, and to this day, the purpose of the mannequin cabin remains a mystery, and locals whisper about who or what maintains that grotesque forest display. It is a reminder that someone's idea of you might find human-made horrors lurking just beyond the next tree. A camper's worst nightmare came true when a bear ripped into a tent, and the harrowing encounter was caught on video. In a YouTube video titled "Bear Attacked Me in My Tent," solo camper Gregor from the channel documents the terrifying moment a wild bear invaded his campsite. He had set up camp alone in a dense forest, only one day to be jolted alive by the sound of snapping branches and heavy grunts right outside his thin nylon shelter. Suddenly, a black bear's snout and claws can be seen through the tent fabric, thrashing inches from Gregor's face. In the shaky footage, you can hear Gregor shouting and banging to scare the animal off. Miraculously, the bear retreated after a few tense moments, and Gregor was left unharmed aside from a racing heart. The description of the video posted, quote, "It was scary. A bear attacked my tent in the forest when I was camping alone. It's better not to camp alone. Haha." The video, which was posted in 2023 and now has over 2 million views, is a stark reality check that camping in bear country means you're never alone. Even a quiet moment can turn deadly in an instant if a curious bear decides to investigate your tent. Would you spend the night in a pitch black
if you've ever saw the movie The Revenant,
to be haunted? One brave YouTuber did, and his camera captured unexplained phenomena that sent him running. Australian adventurer Matt accepted a dare to camp overnight in an abandoned cave deep in the outback, believed by locals to be cursed. He filmed his experience in a video titled "Sleeping in a Haunted Cave, Never Again." At first, Matt treats it like any survival trip. He hikes 4 hours to reach the cave and crawls through narrow tunnels to find a spot to camp. By nightfall, however, things take a terrifying turn. As Matt eats his simple dinner by lantern light, a loud metallic clatter echoes from the cave entrance. He swings his camera around to find the heavy iron chain he climbed down, swaying and clanking on its own, even though no wind blows underground. "Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I've got full goosebumps," Matt whispers, showing the camera his hair standing on end. Gathering his courage, he investigates only to hear hissing, almost human-like whispers emanating from deeper in the cavern around 1 a.m. At this point, Matt's nerves break. On camera, his voice shakes as he announces, "I'm getting out of here. That sound was not normal, and I'm scared." He spends the remaining hours of darkness anxiously waiting near the cave's entrance until sunrise finally allows him to escape safely. Matt's footage from that night is bone-chilling. The moving chain and eerie noises suggest that he was not alone in that cave. Whether it was restless spirits or a hidden person, we may never know for sure, but Matt swears he will never return to that haunted cave.
I saw that video too, I think.
Captured the heart-stopping moment a mountain lion stalked her campsite, proving you might not be the only predator around the campfire. In late 2021, outdoorswoman Nadine was backpacking in a national park in Arizona and set up camp at a remote site called Grass Shack. During the day, she noticed deer in the area acting kind of agitated, a sign that she later realized meant a big cat was nearby. Nadine heard something rustling just outside her camp, and she started recording, showing a huge mountain lion clinging to a tree trunk only 10 feet away, eyes fixed on her. The footage shows the lion's glowing eyes and muscular silhouette as it crouched, ready to pounce. Nadine can be heard speaking in a steady, firm voice, a tactic to assert dominance, while slowly reaching for her bear spray. Quote, "I lobbed rocks with one hand and had bear spray ready in the other," she later wrote. Eventually, a flock of scrub jays flew over and started to bother the cat, leading to him climbing down from the tree, and eventually he left and she packed up and hightailed it out of there. Park rangers later closed that campsite, calling it the most alarming human mountain lion encounter in decades. This experience is just a reminder that out in the wild, you are a part of the food chain. A group of friends on a camping trip captured something otherworldly streaking across the sky. A real UFO caught on camera in the wilderness. In January 2024, 5 campers were goofing around at a campground in Argentina, filming a slow-motion video for fun. They set up a phone to record one friend jumping to headbutt a volleyball, intending to play it back in slow-mo, and the group laughed and carried on, thinking nothing of it, until they watched the footage later that night. In the video's background, a bright, fast-moving object zips across the twilight sky at an impossible speed. In real time, it was too fast to notice, but slowed down, the object is clearly visible shooting behind the trees above their heads. It wasn't an airplane, no engine sound or blinking lights, and it wasn't a meteor. The path was straight and controlled. Baffled, the campers shared the clip online, where local news picked it up as a possible UFO sighting. The object appeared to be 40 meters wide and emitted no sound, and one thing is certain, that night, these friends captured something uncanny in the sky, turning a casual camping trip into an X-Files episode. A shaky camcorder video from 2001 might be one of the best pieces of Bigfoot evidence ever recorded, captured during a youth camping expedition in the mountains. The footage, known as the Marble Mountain Bigfoot video, was filmed by a youth group leader named Jim Mills on a trip in Northern California. Jim had led a dozen teens into the Marble Mountains wilderness for a week of backpacking. One evening, the group stumbled upon a strange makeshift shelter of broken tree branches that looked like a giant nest or hut. Puzzled, they kept their camcorder rolling. Soon after, one of the campers shouted and pointed at a ridge about 150 yards away. The video, which you can watch on YouTube, shows a tall bipedal figure walking upright along the ridge against the sunset. In the zoomed-in footage, the silhouetted figure appears massive and ape-like, swinging its arms as it walks. At one point, it even stops to crouch or possibly pick something up, then stands tall again. The kids can be heard shouting in astonishment, realizing that they might be seeing the legendary Bigfoot. Jim filmed the creature for a full 3 minutes, making this one of the longest Bigfoot videos on record.
I actually don't remember seeing that
casually strolling off trail at dusk in that treacherous area, and certainly not in a bulky gorilla suit in 2001's summer heat. Bigfoot researchers later analyzed the clip and noted the figure's smooth, long strides and enormous size, consistent with Sasquatch sightings. Imagine waking up in your camper van at 2 a.m. to realize someone outside has locked you in from the outside. A nightmare scenario one van lifer experienced and recorded. In September 2022, a travel vlogger named Sean was stealth camping in his van on a quiet roadside in Cornwall, UK. He was trying to sleep discreetly in a no parking zone, all lights off, when he heard a car pull up and faint shuffling around his vehicle. The next morning, to his shock, the van's doors wouldn't open. As he stuck his camera out the window, he showed that there was now something wrapped around his handles, effectively locking him in from the outside. At the end of the day, he's not sure what intention the people had for him or his belongings.
Drive
I think
off.
we're all
You
just
can get to
glad
the front.
This was the worst thing that happened.
Drive off
A lone
and crawl out the
backpacker's
window.
night vision camera accidentally captured pairs of glowing eyes watching him from the darkness, and he didn't even realize it until he reviewed the footage. In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason of the Appy Mountain Truckers channel embarked on a solo camping trip in the Appalachian Mountains. He filmed his overnight adventure for his channel and unknowingly documented a mystery lurking just beyond the firelight. In the video, Jason
alone.
sets up camp and settles in for a quiet night, and around 9:30 p.m. he records himself hearing a strange guttural howl echo from a distant ridge. Quote, "I've never heard anything like that," he tells the camera, describing it as a mix between a pig's snort and an ape's hoot, almost like, quote, "how velociraptors communicate in Jurassic Park." Unnerved but unable to locate the source, Jason eventually crawls back inside. A few hours later, past midnight, he wakes up again hearing crunching footsteps circling the campsite. Jason wakes to faint noises and briefly pans his flashlight around, seeing nothing, but in that brief moment, the camera captures what Jason's naked eye missed: two sets of fiery white eye shine staring from the edge of the forest. The reflective glow suggests large animals, likely wolves or coyotes, observing him quietly in the dark. Chillingly, Jason didn't notice the eyes at the time. He spoke to the camera about the footsteps, chalking it up to maybe a deer, and went back to sleep. It was only later, when viewers pointed out in the comments, that he realized predators had been watching him. Jason made it through the night, oblivious, but when he saw the footage, he admitted it gave him chills knowing how close unseen creatures came to his camp. A man camping in an RV awoke to the sound of a woman screaming. Travel vlogger Tom was in a remote area of Arizona camping in his truck camper amid desert silence. His video, however, shows how quickly things went from serene to dangerous. Around 3 a.m., Tom hears the screams, which wake him up, and he goes out, camera recording, to see what is happening. As he goes out to see if she needs help, he ends up hearing shots fired. Of course, this completely freaks him out, and he begins to retreat back inside of his RV. Unfortunately, this was not the end of the nightmare. As Tom is inside the RV, he then hears a banging on his RV door. He continues to hide inside of the RV when he hears this mysterious person begin trying to break in. This is all pure nightmare fuel, and I can't even imagine how terrified he must have been. In the end, the mysterious person does end up gaining access to the RV by breaking into the underbelly storage and crawling under the floor to get inside, but thankfully, Tom had an alarm that began to go off as the intruder broke in, which ended up scaring him off and possibly saving Tom from whatever grim fate may have been entering the RV. In a final encounter that will send shivers down your spine, a camper documented persistent, eerie knocks on his RV door at night from an unseen visitor who simply wouldn't go away. YouTuber Tom from the Work Less, Enjoy Life More, the same RV camper we just talked about, had another disturbing experience while camping solo in a dense forest. Tom, I feel like camping just might not be for you. Tom sets up a camp in a secluded clearing and settles in for a quiet night of filming a camping vlog. Sometime in the evening, as he is cooking himself a meal, he begins to hear footsteps outside of his RV. These footsteps are persistent, and you can tell someone or something is walking out there. Throughout the night, the mysterious person continuously knocks on the RV. Some knocks louder than others, but all completely terrifying. Tom didn't sleep at all that night, and as soon as he was able, he got the heck out of there, and as he was leaving the site, he apparently saw a lawn chair where he believes the person was sitting in order to continue watching him all night. I don't know, it sounds like Tom needs to start staying in the city, alright? Let's do some hotel, some glamping, actually. Alright guys, that is what I list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Livy Kozlowski, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Well, I want to check out some of those channels that she mentioned and watch the actual video. I wish it would have been more like that, but still kind of cool hearing the stories about it and everything. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Now it's time for a joke. Why did the man from Arkansas have sex with the clock? Because time is relative.